He would.
Alright.
As a matter of fact, he had me build a freaking not a high grade, an entry grade one when the weekend we were together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I saw the Twitter post.
Ah.
Yeah, it's like it was difficult at first because there were so many damn pieces, but it wasn't too bad.
Well, folks, we're live. There's going to be some topics that are going to be brought over from a few previous episodes, mainly because last week we weren't able to bring everything to the table, but we are able to do so. Kaiju is not going to be present this evening. He was partaking in podcast duties from last night, so you know, the master needs to get his rest and what have you. Win, still sadly unavailable. IRL duties. We'll say nothing more than that. So we're just going to cut to the chase this week. Start getting on with one topic I was trying to get to last week. For those in the audience that are listening, do let me know if the lo-fi hip-hop in the background is too loud, and then I'll turn it down as and where applicable. How you doing, Sean?
Hello.
Like I say, we'll get to the first topic. And we have the synopsis for Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Ooh.
Now, this comes to us courtesy of MovieWeb.com. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 synopsis reveals big roles for Tails and Knuckles. It looks like Sonic the Hedgehog 2 will take a lot of inspiration from the video games featuring Tails, Knuckles, and Chaos Emeralds.
Oh, okay.
Sonic fans rejoice as we now have an official synopsis for the upcoming sequel, and it's sure to put a smile on the face of Sega fans everywhere. According to the newly released plot description, Sonic 2 will feature prominent roles for both Tails, Knuckles, with the beloved sidekick starting out on opposite sides as Dr. Robotnik hunts for a Chaos Emerald. So, was just looking to see what Sega has done lately and ran past the Sonic 2 movie copyright and not sure anyone has posted this. After settling in Green Hills, Sonic is ready for more freedom. Tom and Maddie agree to leave him home alone while they go on vacation. I see pratfalls galore beginning already. But no sooner are they gone when Dr. Robotnik comes back, this time with a new partner, Knuckles. I see where this is going already. In search for an emerald that has the power to both build and destroy civilizations. I wonder if he's been playing Sid Meier's Civilizations on PC and got inspired by that. Sonic teams up with his own sidekick Tails, and together they embark on a journey to find the emerald before it falls into the wrong hands. Being directed by Jeff Fowler and starring Jim Carrey, James Marsden, and Ben Schwartz. So it looks like Sonic 2 will take a lot more inspiration from the video game source than the first movie, with the story seemingly pulling directly from Sonic the Hedgehog 3, with Knuckles teaming up with Robotnik to find the Chaos Emerald, having been convinced by the evil scientist that Sonic is the villain. Movie, do not make Knuckles a dumbass. Please. We've had enough of that from Sega throughout the years.
Naive?
So
Yes.
please don't have a Martha moment. Please don't do that.
No.
Naive?
Why did
Yes.
you say that then?
Stupid? No.
No. The Chaos Emeralds, for those unaware, are a set of 7 ancient emeralds which possesses powerful properties and abilities. I'm sensing something DBZ related here. Those that hold the Chaos Emeralds are able to use them for a variety of different things, including powering machines, initiating super transformations, and even warping time and space.
Oh, these sound like the Infinity Stones.
And a little bit of Sonic X.
Mm-hmm.
Sonic 2 will once again star Ben Schwartz as the voice of Sonic, Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik, and James Marsden and Tika Sumster as Tom Wachowski and Maddie Wachowski, respectively. No actors have yet been confirmed for Tails or Knuckles, though rumours did recently circulate that Jason Momoa was being sought after for the Red Echidna. Just to break away from script, I did actually tweet to Jeff Fowler, go and look up Crispin Freeman. Trust me, you will not disappoint. Introducing more familiar faces from the Sonic lore to the big screen is something that returning director Jeff Fowler had always planned, with the filmmaker previously expressing his excitement over being able to bring more characters into the fray. Just do it slowly, Jeff. Don't do, what's...
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Well, that too. But just don't do what Sonic games seem to do, bring in new characters, but then do nothing with them. I mean, who remembers Maureen the Raccoon?
Who?
She was in one of the Sonic Advance games from back in the day. And based on the design, I'm guessing that's what was the inspiration for Styx the Badger. For the first film, we were just really looking at the 91 game and just seeing where it all started and just keep it simple. Fowler explained regarding the importance of establishing the central rivalry between Sonic and Jim Carrey's Robotnik, although there seemed to be much more of a rivalry between Tom and Robotnik. Who the hell do you think you are? I'm the Donut Lord, you son of a bitch. It's like, language! Just really try to nail Sonic and Robotnik just to set up the rivalry, because there's a lot of great characters in Sonic universe, but it's the most important thing is just to get Sonic set up and just tell a little bit of an origin story with him, and just do it in a way that really makes everyone fall in love with him as a character and just be rooting for more. And then if all that goes well, we can then kind of open it up and bring in some of these other characters that we know and love. He continued, and there's no one's more excited than me to have that opportunity. Sonic 2 is scheduled for release in the United States on April 8, 2022 by Paramount Pictures. The synopsis appeared on the US Copyright Office website and was shared by Twitter user Rox the Squirrel. Okay. I'm just checking to see from them if the music's... Yeah, they say that the music is a little bit on the loud side. Okay. Well... I'm glad that they're more or less pulling directly from the source, and by the sounds of things, staying somewhat faithful to it, because what I feel was a detriment to the Transformers movies, particularly the first and second, it probably borrowed too loosely from G1. I mean, I understand as a director, you have to make your own spin on things and have to be able to tell a story that's plausible, but I think fans would have appreciated Michael Bay a little bit more had he stuck closer to the lore of G1. Yeah. But it's Michael Bay. That's kind of a foregone conclusion, and the vibe that I'm getting for Sonic 2 is that it's sticking much closer to the source material for Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and maybe possibly Sonic 3 and Knuckles. From some of the set photos that have showed up, the Wachowskis are going to be involved in some high explosive action. I'm guessing this is just them returning to Green Hills, or they end up on Sonic's world. They haven't really provided much more context other than that, but it does sound interesting for what they're going to provide. And like I said earlier, have Knuckles intelligent and naive by all means, but stop it with the stupid angle. We've had enough of that from Sonic Boom. I agree with the redesign to make Knuckles a little bit more jacked so that he hasn't skipped arm day or leg day, but the whole stupid thing, stop it. It's old. Or, as Cena said once in a promo on Raw, some 16 years ago, yo homie, give it up. It's old. And that's the John Cena we'd like to have come back.
Yes, please.
Not current Cena. Because, not to get on too much of a thing, CM Punk was trolling Cena on Twitter by putting in his description, Taiwan is a country.
Oh.
This is probably the first time Cena's gotten in trouble with The Office in probably the segment on Raw in 2012 where Punk literally punked out Jerry Lawler. Thing is, Cena came out early and broke away from script, and Punk had to wing it. Because the story behind that is Cena was begging for a change in character because he was sick of what he was doing. But you could have just done that behind the scenes. But then again, I suppose it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. Back on topic. The proof in the pudding will be in the eating. I need to see a trailer. Maybe a little bit more informative than the Sonic Rangers trailer that we're going to be getting for next year. And speaking of trailers, Colin Trevorrow is teasing the teaser trailer for Dominion soon.
Woo.
How soon?
Ooh,
he apparently hasn't elaborated too much on, because I haven't seen the video from Clayton Fiority for that just yet. So that'll be something I'll get at to a later stage. But no, I'm liking what I'm hearing. With regards to the voice actor for Tails, just get his regular game voice actor, because Colleen, because I think she had to do this like last minute because they weren't sure if they were going to get Tails in the mid credits, but I think because they had time and budget left over, they had Tails come in, and Colleen's just fine. You know, my biggest worry is they'll get like a name change without any context. I'm a bit worried that they'll get Tara Strong to do it, because Tara Strong's a talented voice actress. She's just not very good at voicing Harley Quinn. Tara, if you're listening, we love you. Just please, no more.
Hands up, B-Man.
Hey, Raiden.
Hey, Raiden.
All we're saying, Tara, is, look, we love you as Ben 10. We love you as Batgirl. Just no more Harley. Just saying. No more Harley.
Yeah, leave it to Billy Cuoco, okay? She's doing just fine.
I might hate the writing for that show, but she puts her ass into voicing that, because
She does.
Honestly, this is something I want to get on. MJ, why do you not like HBO Max's Harley Quinn? That's not singling you out, but I've heard current podcasts that you don't particularly like, writing.
I think because it kind of paints her as a little bit of a Mary Sue in places, and it's trying to be a little bit too much of the stereotypical modern Hollywood writing for a lot of comic book characters. It's like I say, voice acting and the animation style for that show, I'm absolutely fine with. The problem I have with the way Harley's written, there's a little bit of SJWism in there, and that for me is a turn-off.
Oh, that's fair.
I understand.
I
the
mean,
character of Harley can be a little jarring, especially she does things on impulse because she doesn't want to talk about her true feelings because she's so deep rooted in the Joker. Well, she's trying to get away from that, but it's like no matter what she does, it's always going to be her thing.
It's funny you mentioned that. I was looking at one of the Facebook memories that got fed through that I'd posted years ago, where she goes, "Hey, you tied up Mr. J. That's my hobby." Me, that's way too much information. Because, well, we know, Harley's into the kinky stuff. But then again, you gotta think Joker's somewhat of a similar way. I mean, he puts up with her.
I think it's the other way around,
True.
Especially how Joker is as a person.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was highlighted... I think it was either the season 1 or season 2 episode of the animated series. I think it was Harley and Ivy, where Joker's kicked her out for the umpteenth time, and then something like maybe 2 to 3 weeks afterwards, he's actually missing her, but then it just becomes a vicious cycle with those two. They get on each other's nerves, they grow apart, they come back, they grow apart, they come back, and it's just like...
Just gonna stand here, watch me hurt. Anytime I think of those two, I think of that song.
It's almost like, in a weird way, Harley and Joker is the Batman equivalent of Ross and Rachel. They're always on and off, on and off, on and off,
or reality sense. And I had to bring it up. Ronnie and Sammy from Jersey Shore.
I've only ever seen bits and pieces of Jersey Shore, and I think I saw...
I know what he's talking about. It's cringe. No.
I saw about maybe 20 seconds.
I can tell for your grunt, Liz, that you have seen this.
Yes, I have. I've put myself through that crap. I don't know why.
Me too.
I
I watched on occasion, but I don't know why.
I saw about 20 seconds of this, and I'm like, yeah, this is not worth my time. And it's just like, ooh, the Music Factory! This is better! Was better than MTV, because the Music Factory actually showed music videos. Unlike MTV.
Ooh, shots fired!
We lost 4 years ago.
To steal a line from my brother from another mother, I apologize for nothing!
Yay.
But then again, the idea of Ross as the Joker and Rachel as Harley Quinn... Actually, no, that's going to keep me up all night. No, let's not do that.
Yeah.
Shall we get back on topic?
That'd almost be like envisioning Amy Farrah Fowler as Harley Quinn and Sheldon as the Joker. But Sheldon as the Joker, he'd enjoy that way too much.
Oh, no. No.
Ah.
I need to have my mind bleached.
Here you go, Steve. Borrow my brain bleach. It's all right.
Thank you.
Basically, the topic we're looking at, Raiden, is the synopsis for Sonic the Hedgehog 2 next year. It's basically going to be adapting Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Okay. That doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah, basically, the Wachowskis are going to give Sonic more freedom around the house after he's settled there. They're leaving him in charge of their home whilst they go away on vacation. I'm like, okay, I'm imagining a situation of what if Sonic was in Home Alone?
Here's the best part. At least Sonic will be more likable. Listen, off topic. Say what you will about those movies, and I'll love them. you kind of want to punch Kevin in the face for the way he's acting.
Yeah. Although, in Home Alone 2, I felt more sympathy for him than I did with the former.
I agree.
Because Buzz was being a butthead.
And Uncle Fred was being skate.
Well, nothing's changed from the first movie then.
Yeah. I mean, okay. Kevin was very immature back in the day, but it came with a purpose because his family wasn't hot shit.
Nah. And of course, there was the one where it was the TV movie where it kind of brought it back to Kevin, Buzz, and Megan, but Buzz
don't
was
talk about that movie.
Yeah, because Buzz was now Kevin's age all of a sudden. I'm like, wait, is this like a reimagining or a reboot? I'm like, what?
Again, we don't talk about that movie.
We do like to
The
talk.
only ones we're talking about is one through 3. I mean, 3 didn't have anything to do with the last couple movies, but I thought the trap for that was 7.
We did like to talk about Three Ninjas, which was like, what if you mixed Home Alone with the Ninja Turtles?
I actually love that franchise.
Yeah. Especially the knuckleheads that's like, yo, little dudes, we don't want to kill you. We just want to kidnap you. Yeah.
Dare we mention the one that had Oni's former Lord and Savior?
Oni was...
Dare I even ask?
It's true, Oni brothers.
Three
It's true.
No!
ninjas.
Ah!
Okay, 3 ninjas, High Noon at Mega Mountain. Hulk Hogan was part of the cast, and he was Dave Dragon.
It's true, Hulkamaniacs. Oni was once a Hulkamaniac. He even wore his red and yellow bandana. It was such a beautiful sight. He could have taken the baton from me. Why on God's green earth would I ever want to do that? And I could be Stone Cold Steve Austin instead. That's more fun.
Oh, darling.
Now I've got an image of Oni being stuck inside the Warner Brothers water tower.
No!
It's time for Oni Maniacs, and I'm shit right to the max.
Oh god, if I could borrow Slappy's purse, I would hit him with it. Like, no! None of that!
But, liking what I hear from the article, we've kind of gone off topic more than once this evening. So, Steve, get your 2 cents in before I go off on another tangent.
Looks promising. Just try to not overload it like a few sequels have done in the past.
Basic Spider-Man 2. Sorry, I had something.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
And Batman and Robin. Bro, Random, I know if you're listening, look, I know you love that movie, but too many cooks. Just saying.
Yeah, too many cooks, too many ingredients, just everything just thrown into a pot. Ugh.
That's like taking a cheese and tomato pizza and you add in some peppers, some pork chipolata sausages, some garlic balls, some olives, some jalapeno peppers, then chocolate spread, peanut butter spread, lotus biscoff spread, hot sauce,
fudge.
Yeah.
And I think I just threw up in my mouth.
Look, man, you'll be going to the bathroom for 3 days after that.
Sounds like something the Ninja Turtles would cook up.
Oh, trust me,
No,
they
Mikey,
would.
No, Mikey would do that. Mikey would do
Yes,
that.
he
Like
would.
anchovy and fudge, dude.
Well, if you recall from one of the 80s episode, it goes, "Do you want to try our new Pizza Master Splinter? It's ham, pepperoni, and marshmallow." And I'm like, I'm sorry. It's one thing if you have an inspired dessert that looks like a pizza but has marshmallows on it with no pizza ingredients in. That's different.
Reminds me of what Domino's did for a time, where they had just a pizza base, but they had chocolate on top of it.
Lot of chocolate pizza.
Yes.
And Chicago Town once did a chocolate dessert. The actual pizza base was the same bread that they used for pizza, but they just have chocolate sauce on it, and you put it in the oven and cut it up like a regular pizza. But it's chocolate pizza, but without adding the cheese and tomato. So, I do agree. Don't add too much. And for those that are listening, I think they probably will add Amy Rose at some stage, but maybe not till, say, end of movie 3 or beginning of movie 4.
Yeah.
And, well...
Don't make her yandere, Amy.
No.
Please no.
Because we don't want to traumatize children of this generation. We're still trying to get over the trauma from the way she was in not only the Adventure series, but the Archie series. Although, with Sonic Boom, she's tame. Sonic X...
What about Sonic X?
I was about to say, Sonic X, stalker alert. And, I don't know, if you have to bring her in, have her as an admirer of Sonic with maybe a healthy crush, but if you make her that sort of character where... Here's the situation. Sonic's up in his room, up in his cave room, in the Wachowski house. He's just waking up. He's probably going to go on to the Xbox One and watch something off Netflix. And there's Amy sat in a chair beside him, just sort of staring intently with a creepy smile. And he sort of turns to the left, like, "How long have you been there?" "I've been over there all night watching you sleep peacefully. And that's the point where Liz is like,
"Someone call 911."
That's not a restraining order.
Yeah, so as long as they don't make Amy that type of stalker thing, which I doubt they would do that in a PG-rated movie. They might have hints, but if it went to the point where the way they did with that one episode in Sonic Boom with the obsessive fan where he's tied down to the chair and or bed. Here's the funny thing. Chris Chan goes on Twitter. It's like, "I am not like this as a fan." And everyone else is like, "You sure, dude?" Because he kind of brings it onto himself. Just saying. And let's not even talk about that instant where he went smashing up property in that GameStop shop. You know what I'm talking about.
Unfortunately, I do not. I don't think I want to. Well, I kind of sort of want to know, but what happened?
He basically went into one GameStop store. I think this was for the first Sonic Boom game, and he just went in causing trouble by, like, defacing stuff and knocking things over. It's been a while since I've seen the video, but yeah, he kind of brings these problems onto himself, and let's not even discuss Sonic Chew.
No.
Oh, yeah, that's...
I mean, if he had done Sonichu as purely a parody, where he is openly mocking it, I'd say fair enough. But he was serious about it, and it's just like, okay. like Retro, Sean Retro's like go in response to like Amy staring at him intently. Sonic, Dad. You imagine it'd be like, oh look at that, you got yourself a little girlfriend. Amy's smiling. Sonic's like, no.
Give her ideas, man.
Why does this remind me of that Looney Tunes song "We Are in Love"?
Oh no!
Don't.
We are in love.
No.
We're not.
That was our first love song.
Did you tap my phone lines? We are in love. Yes, I tapped your phone lines. You know that's
No.
right?
Oh.
Nope.
Wouldn't it be like the weirdest thing, like, you know, somebody watches that on YouTube and then straight afterwards you hear, you see the music video for Sting and the Police's every move you make. It's like, oh, good lord.
Oh, God. Thanks a lot, Kaiji, for that. Or should I say Neil Ciceriga?
Because, I'm sorry, but, I mean, it's a good song by Sting, but come on, it's a stalker anthem. It's almost like the one by Cyndi Lauper. I drove all night, crept into your room. It's like, Cindy, what are you doing?
Stop it.
I did not consent to this. I mean, it's one thing if your girlfriend, fiance, or your wife considerately walks into the room just to have company, but a stranger that says, I drove all night and crept into your room, is just like, boundaries clearly don't mean a thing to you, do they? I mean, that'd be like Jackie from that 70s show just sneaking into Raiders' room. It's like, bitch, get your ass out of here!
I have 3 katanas. I know.
Damn.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Oni wouldn't have 3 katanas if Eva Marie snuck in. He'd have 3 monster trucks.
Oh, no, he just stick me on her. And then it's like,
is this the part where we have fun? And he goes, oh, I'm having fun, but you won't be. Take the hint.
Crack my knuckles. It's like, you have 5 seconds to get out of here before I break your face.
Well, knowing her, that'll probably cost about, I don't know, 50 cents worth of cosmetic surgery, because that's probably about all she's worth.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
I apologize for nothing. We're gonna get on to the next topic afterwards. So, lids, synopsis for Sonic 2, go.
I'm looking forward to it. It's like, it actually sounds like fun. It's like, yeah, antics that they could get into. It's like, again, they're trying to make it a little different than the last movie, because if like they could have just been safe and had Tom and his wife stuck around, but they might appear in the movie, just not as a like completely important role. I think the important role is looking for the Chaos Emeralds, which again, I feel like they have the freaking Infinity Stones. I'm sorry, they're gonna do something with that. It's just, I don't know what. And if we're going to do the Chaos Emeralds, we need to at least see Supersonic at least once.
Yeah.
Mainly for a cameo.
Other than that, I'm looking forward to what this movie holds. I'm actually really excited.
And last but not least, Cyber-Raiden.
Yeah, I'm with everyone. I'm definitely looking forward. Hopefully they don't go crazy like a lot of superhero movies for them. Love it. You know, just hoping things get better, because Sonic the Hedgehog last year was the surprising hit, and
Yes, it was.
Gaming movies as a whole, it might get decent. So hopefully, I hope more stuff happens. Especially, looking forward to it.
Alrighty. And from one pleasing article to another, Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot crosses over with the original series. The Buffy reboot has crossed over with the original Buffy television series timeline for one close enough to, for its all intents and purposes. In 2018, Boom Studios obtained a license to publish comics based on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Instead of continuing from where Dark Horse Comics' Buffy franchise left off with its season 12 continuation of the original series, Boom Studios rebooted Buffy in a new timeline where the characters are in high school in the 21st century. Recent issues of the series have expanded Buffy the Vampire Slayer scope to begin telling multiverse stories. Buffy the Vampire Slayer 25 sends the reboot cast into Buffy the Vampire Slayer's second season, while the cover features those characters they appeared in the show's final season. Buffy 24 teased this reveal by showing a rapper from the Band Candy episode on its last page. Issue 25 goes further. It features Season 2 villains The Judge, Angel hanging out in a Sunnydale graveyard while pining after Buffy, like he always does, the Bronze, and confirmation that this universe remains stuck in the 1990s. And notice with the artwork, it's got the likeness of the actors down to a T. Although I'm noticing with Sarah Michelle Gellar's Buffy, she kind of looks a little bit off balance around the eyes, but that could just be the way, the art style is. Although, the way they've drawn Spike, perfect. Except for Giles. Except for Giles' frenemy, Ethan Rain. The characters don't interact with their alternate universe selves, thus avoiding any unintended consequences across timelines, so paradoxes. It does give Willow a glimpse at a happier universe where she and Xander are still friends, which may motivate her actions in upcoming issues. Eventually, Anya comes to the rescue and saves the team before the lurkers that police the boundaries between universes can strike. The issue ends with a nod to Anya's explanation of the multiverse from the Buffy show. You could have, like, a world with no shrimp, or, nothing but shrimp. By having Reboot Anya grab as many shrimp tacos as possible before returning home. The issue ends with Buffy and Willow wondering what a shrimp is, revealing that the reboot timeline is a world with no shrimp. What do you think of the crossover? Let us know in the comments below. Buffy the Vampire Slayer 25 is on sale now. Like I say, I'm liking the art style. It's clearly being very faithful to the TV series. I don't think Xander actually ever wore an eye patch in the original show, but I never saw every single episode religiously. I mean, that's just me for you. But I'm liking what I'm hearing, and I like the fact that the character designs are down to a T. So yeah, and to our own resident vampire slayer, what do you make of it?
Well, personally, I kind of like the idea, the fact that they're sticking to the idea of parallel universes, because yeah, that's been set up in the series where it's like there are different universes where they're like, yeah, as you said, the world with no shrimp and the world with nothing but shrimp. But the fact that they've set this up, the reboot series, I owned a couple issues of it, and it's actually not bad. And I haven't read anything recent, but it's not a bad thing. And this is from the people who did the Power Rangers comics, for Boom Studios. Like,
nice.
Oh yeah, it's like good on them. It's actually a decent storyline. They've done some other stuff, but it's like mostly I do like what they're doing here, where it's like they've gone back to a time that's stuck in the 90s, where it's like, I don't know if that's someone's worst nightmare or someone's wet dream. I don't know, but it's actually it's pretty good. And it's like, and I do like what they're doing here. I want to see where this goes. Let's see what happens.
Because if I recall, in the multiverse that Cordelia ended up going in, because Anya, when she did have her powers,
when she was full vengeance demon at that point, yeah.
Yeah, she went over to, what if Buffy had never come to Sunnydale. When I watched that episode on occasion, I looked at how Alison Hannigan was playing Vampire Willow. I got the sense she kind of enjoyed that a little bit, because it's Willow, but not as you would know her. And I did like when they had like the return episode where Vampire Willow comes over and they end up swapping outfits, and of course our Willow's like, the dress is a bit bindy,
Wow, look at those.
I like her, as they're trying to send her back, Vampire Willow gets a tiny bit friendly with...
Oh my god. The whole... So, does this mean you want to snuggle? oh god. Just like, she's so evil and skanky, and I think I'm kind of gay. That was like, come on, that was your first hint that she was... I do like that was kind of like foreshadowing for later before Willow came out of the closet, so... They set that up because Buffy said like, don't worry, like the vampire isn't like the personality, is nothing like the personality of the vampire. Angel was about to correct that before Buffy gave him a look like, no, do not tell her this.
I did find it was a little bit ironic. She gets sent back to her world. First thing that happened, she's impaled upon the spine. She's like, oh, for fuck's sake. I kind of felt bad for her. She gets given a second chance, goes back to her universe, and she's turned to dust, and you sort of think, oh, come on. But, yeah. I don't know. Anybody got an opinion of the reboot, or shall we move on to the next one?
Yeah, I haven't read much of the reboots, so I wouldn't have much to say. But I will say it's nice that they still acknowledge that the previous series happened.
Alright. You of a similar thought on that, Raiden?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it sounds cool. I was like...
Okay. Something that may not be so cool, and Raiden may just go into Shin mode, and Lydia will go into Super Margin Destroyer Lydia mode.
Oh god, no.
Okay.
WWE reportedly booking major rap star to host SummerSlam 2021.
Oh, what?
I heard about this one.
I'll get to it.
Oh god.
Reports of WWE's plans for this year's SummerSlam have been popping up throughout the past week. But other than a date, August 21, nothing has been confirmed about the show other than that the location will be announced during the Belmont Stakes race next weekend. John Cena's name has already been brought up as a potential headlining return. Paul Heyman has started teasing Brock Lesnar's return to the fold, and now a new report has popped up regarding who WWE wants to host the show. Grammy winner Cardi B.
I'm sorry, what?
Duck and cover. Duck and cover.
My brain hurts.
Would you like your brain bleached back?
Yes, please.
There you go.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm done. Continue.
B has openly expressed her pro wrestling fandom in the past, and even teased getting into a feud with Lacey Evans back in January's. B's song Up was used during a teaser for SummerSlam during Friday's episode of SmackDown. And the Mat Men podcast, Andrew Zarians, reported on Friday that WWE has booked her for the show. And there's a tweet saying, I can confirm that I was told Cardi B is the host for SummerSlam this year. WWE President Nick Khan talked about B's involvement back in February, noting that she and fellow rapper Bad Bunny, who put on a spectacular in-ring performance at WrestleMania 37, are helping bring in younger fans. You want to bring in younger fans, actually write some better scripts. Just saying. Yes, and specifically the two that you just mentioned, Khan said in an interview with Forbes in February. Obviously, there is no touring right now, so the ability to get Bad Bunny for however long this run is going to be, and you're going to see a lot of him. I don't believe that would have existed in a world where Bad Bunny was on tour. That's going to be a continual effort, so we're always going to watch Bad Bunny, Cardi B to get involved. It made it a touch easier to get a deal done this time because they weren't. Over the course of however long the deal is not in 25 different cities during that time. The bulk of concert money is made in the summertime. It doesn't appear as if there are going to be big tours during the summer. Even we're all hopeful, so we'll see what the other folks are talking to, and you'll see in the mix. Are you interested in seeing Cardi B perform and host SummerSlam? No. Should she step inside the ring and go for a match too? I know Rage will be sitting with a popcorn. It's like, girl, get your ass B, because you ain't gonna last. Let us know in the comments below. If she's hosting SummerSlam, big ass freaking mulligan. I will not watch that because that girl is trash and she cannot rap to save her damn life. And here's the thing, I'm going to go on to a small little tangent. They get the Pogues Christmas Fairy Tale in New York band last year because there are some impolitically correct lyrics and what have you and offensive. Yet Cardi B's song about whapping is allowed to still air. Please tell me how you can defend that double standard because I'm sorry. I'd say
I can sing the song right now, but
I'd say screw her, but that could get taken so many ways, so I'm just gonna say mulligan, not watching SummerSlam if she's hosting. Fuck y'all, I'm out.
Damn.
Lydia, I hand you your weapon of choice. You may choose silencing katana, deafening bells, or you may have Oni's choice of destruction.
Oni's choice of destruction, please.
You get You get the Eclipse Cannon from Sonic Adventure 2.
But I'll take it. Because what would possess them to hire her as a host? Has the personality of a fucking wet nap. And that's an insult to wet naps. Because considering the fact I found out what WAP means, I'm not going to repeat that because
No.
you're welcome.
But the fact that I have a bad feeling this is going, her hosting is going to play into Eva Marie's glorious return, and I'm putting air quotes on glorious because no one wants her here.
Well,
Just don't like. As I keep posting on Twitter, a clip of from Helsinger Bridge. Didn't ask, don't need it. Go fuck yourself. Sorry. What? I'm not talking about that bitch. I'm talking about a completely different bitch. No, I'm sorry. I've been guilty of listening to some of her music, and my God, she makes Little Kim look like Julie Andrews.
For real?
Yeah, Little Kim from back in the day, back in the early 90s, when she was a big star. Just... I get that Bad Bunny paid off in the end. Good Lord, he impressed me. I don't know what the hell Cardi B is going to do, and I have a bad feeling that this was the idea of John Laurinaitis. I have a bad feeling about that. Just trying so hard to set the women's division back another 10 years, back when divas were a thing, where bikini contests were okay, where mud wrestling was perfectly fine. No.
And Jerry Lawler had a permanent smile on his face.
No. We're not going back to that. No. women's wrestling in general has evolved from that cesspool. We do not need that, and we do not need to put people who are basically byproducts of that cesspool. Oh no. Fuck you. Get the hell out. No.
Commander Raiden, you may take the firing range.
When it's up. Listen, Mulligan fam, I ain't gonna waste your time. Listen, Cardi B as a person, she's a slippery slope. For this, I can give her rats. I mean, WWE is gonna WWE. As long as the old man is still running shit, you're still gonna get stumped stuff like that.
That and the people under him.
Basically, let him do what he do and let the E-drones be happy about it. So, at this point, I don't go.
I'm looking at the comments from Dan. No! Imagines Nia Jax in a bikini contest. Oh, no.
Oh, no! No!
Hey,
No!
hey,
Why?
You want my fiance to go blind? Please, no!
Hey! We do not fat shame, okay?
I'm not fat shaming her, it's just that she has an ugly personality.
Yes, we know this, but let's not mess up people's fantasies.
Okay, fair enough. I respect that.
It just makes me want to say something that I said once during one of Oni's Yakuza streams.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have permission to say it?
Go ahead.
You can dress a bitch up like a princess, but at the end of the day, she's still a bitch.
Amen. Amen.
Or,
Nice.
somewhat similar to what Lid said once, you could put as much lipstick on a pig as all you want to, still don't make her a lady.
Damn straight.
Mm-hmm.
Well, next article. No Way Home villain revealed.
Oh?
A new report suggests that Tom Holland's Spider-Man will have his hands full in No Way Home. At long last, it appears we have a sense of who the main villain will be in Spider-Man 3. The operative word being main in this case. More on that in a second. Up to this point, much has remained secretive about Tom Holland's third solo adventure in the MCU, but details have slowly been making their way out into the world. Whether Disney and Sony like it or not. I'm surprised Sony have been able to keep leaks this quiet. Oh, I'm sorry, did I say that out loud?
Say what out loud.
And now a crucial detail has emerged which potentially reveals a lot about the movie coming our way. Warning, possible spoilers ahead for Spider-Man No Way Home. Proceed with caution. Yeah, sure. During a recent episode of the Snyder Cut podcast, that's Snyder spelled S-N-E-I-D-R, not the Snyder you're thinking of, host Jeff Snyder discussed the recent casting of Aaron Taylor Johnson as Kraven the Hunter in Sony's upcoming Spider-Man movie spin-off.
Quicksilver?
That's
Yep.
so funny to me.
Kick ass.
I never saw him coming.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, it's just that. I only have one person to blame for that. Agatha Harkness. She did this. She changed reality.
That prompted speculation about the possible formation of the Sinister Six. That's where things got interesting. While Snyder did not know if Kraven will appear in the Solo sequel, he said it's obvious that they're building up to the Sinister Six. Sony, we talked about this after Amazing 2. Not gonna work. And then he explained that Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, who previously appeared in the Sam Raimi trilogy, will be heading up the group.
Yay.
What?
What?
Yep, Dafoe's coming back apparently. I had heard that No Way Home wasn't in reference to Spider-Man, it was reference to the villains. The villains are coming out of these different alternate dimensions. They don't have a way to get home. The villains that I've heard, and Sony has obviously copped to the fact that Doc Ock is in the movie, Alfred Molina, and Jamie Foxx's Electro. Those are the only two that we really know. I'm pretty sure that Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin will be the main villain in this film, so that's 3. And Willem Dafoe will probably be told by the director, Mr. Dafoe, calm down, you're getting too involved. No one tells me what to do! Sandman, Rhino, and Lizard were the other 3 that the host had heard as rounding out the Sinister Six lineup. We had heard rumors of Thomas Hayden Church returning as Sandman. I'm okay with that because I thought he was okay. Having previously played the part in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3, but is yet to be confirmed. And does that mean that Paul Giamatti would be back as Rhino from Amazing 2, Rhys Ifans as Lizard from The Amazing Spider-Man? In any event, this is a lot of information to process and reveals a great deal about what is potentially coming our way later this year. We know that the MCU is getting ready to explore the multiverse. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is coming next year. The casting of Jamie Foxx and Alfred Molina, who appeared in both previous iterations of the Spider-Man franchise, further confirmed that. The idea that Green Goblin would return to lead the Sinister Six further asserts that Marvel and Sony are going all in on this idea. But let's not get too excited until these details are confirmed or denied by the studio. It is also worth noting that both Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, who played live-action versions of Peter Parker in the past, are rumoured to star alongside Tom Holland. Should this all come to pass, it appears this movie, directed by John Watts, is poised to be an Avengers-level cinematic event. No Way Home is currently set to hit theatres on December 17. We'll be sure to keep you posted as further details are made available. What I think will be a nice play on things, if Garfield and Maguire are set to come in, here's what I think will be appropriate. When they make their appearances, they come into the theme scores from their respective movies. So when Toby comes in, he's coming in via the... You know the moment in Spider-Man 3 where he arrives on the scene to start rescuing Mary Jane from Venom? It's when you hear like the iconic movie score for that in, so that he comes in and that's a nod and a wink to the fans. So if they have to get Danny Elfman, pay him whatever he wants, just do it. And even though the composer for the first Amazing Spider-Man is sadly no longer with us, let me just double check, so I want to make sure I get his name right. Amazing Spider-Man, I think, who did it? James Horner, because he did such an amazing, no pun intended, score for that movie. I get where people saying that they heard little bits of 97's Titanic in there, but certain composers tend to reuse certain pieces from previous scores. I mean, you look at the sort of score that really terrible with names at the moment. Hang on, gotta go to Wikipedia again. Right, hang on. You know, when you look at Alan Silvestri's score for the first Back to the Future, and then you listen to the score he uses in the first Avengers movie, you hear very similar chords and beats in there. But what I think really sells Horner's score is this track that is simply entitled Saving the City, and it's when you see Spidey going from crane to crane. That movie has its fair share of criticisms, but that particular moment in the movie, I couldn't fault it. And it's just such an uplifting piece and what have you. And then the sequel, because like I say, Horner was no longer with us, they brought in Hans Zimmer for that. And whilst I like Zimmer's scores, it felt like such a stylistically clashing contrast compared to the former. I mean, it still felt great, but because Horner's score from the first movie was just so well done, how to put this in a way most people could understand, it'd be like if you have the title soundtrack done by, say, let's say for the sake of discussion, they were to re-release the Blade trilogy but have some actual soundtracks. Imagine the first movie is done with Dr. Dre and Ice Cube doing something really edgy, dark, that really lends itself. And the follow-up, you get Puff Daddy and Kanye.
That doesn't sound too bad, actually.
You know what I mean, though? It would feel like something that's very stylistically contrasting, or something that Liz could appreciate. Let's just say, for the sake of discussion, they do a one-off Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie set 20 years later, with Buffy now training her daughter to be the next Slayer. And the song that starts the movie, let's say it's... I'm trying to think of something that really complements Buffy well. Like, let's just say you have something like Republica's Baby I'm Ready to Go. Look that song up, by the way. It's awesome. And then at the end of the movie, she gets played up to I'm a bitch, I'm a mother, I'm a child, I'm a lover. You'd be set to feel like, what?
No, I honestly, if they were to do something like that at the end of the movie, they have to at least do a redone version of Nerf Herder's theme, and like they need to actually do it. Get that band back together and just have them redo a version of that song, because that band defined the sound of that soundtrack of that series.
And one that Steven can probably relate to. Let's say we finally get given the green light for a live-action CG hybrid of Captain Scarlet. And the opening song is View to a Kill by Duran Duran. Let's just say for the sake of discussion. And then towards the end, you get Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me by U2. You'd be like, this is cool, but...
I love that song. I don't care.
But you know what I mean? It just feels like it stylistically, style-wise, it clashes. You know, still a great song, but it'd be like in a duet, you have, in an ideal world, let's say George Michael's still with us. In an ideal world, let's say George is still with us, and he does a duet with this country singer that's been making her rounds across YouTube, Caroline Jones. You know, that song, Come In, Don't Get Comfortable. You look and think, they don't go together, you know? That's basically the point I'm just sort of getting with that. I'm glad, like I say, most of the characters are coming back in. If Maguire is in, the rumor is he's not going to be de-aged like Alfred Molina is. Apparently, it's going to be Peter Parker now, as things continued on from 2007. So by this point, Peter Parker's like 33. So that'll be intriguing. So they're probably going to be borrowing like cliff notes from Into the Spider-Verse, which I do find it interesting how that movie did so well, a year or two ago, and now the live action versions seemingly, let's just call it for what it is. They're stealing cliff notes from it. If they're bringing Garfield back in, please bring in Emma Stone's Gwen Stacy, because
Yes, do it.
how you doing?
And then maybe tease at the end, if they really want to go with the whole Spider-Verse route, maybe tease Spider-Gwen with her at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
So yeah, we know how much Willem Dafoe enjoyed playing Gobby, even with the quick cameos in Spider-Man 3 and then Spider-Man 2, but you look at what he did in the first Spider-Man movie, you have to wonder if Sam Raimi ever tapped him on the shoulder and was like, okay, Willem, the take's over, you can get out of character. No one tells me what to do! Because he looks like he was into it.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, he's known for playing the crazies. I mean, he played the main antagonist in Speed 2. I think from what I heard about that movie, Sandra Bullock was probably the only reprising feature of said movie.
I believe they recast Keanu Reeves' character, or they replaced him. I don't know what happened with that movie. I never watched it. For the sake of my own sanity.
Well, it's not to say that Sandra Bullock can't carry a movie on her back, because we've seen through various movies like Murder by Numbers and The First Miss Congeniality and The Proposal that she did with Ryan Reynolds, which apparently was the first movie where she ever did a nude scene, which by the way, Ryan Reynolds, you lucky son of a bitch. I mean, speaking as a kid who grew up in the 90s, I would be lying if I didn't say that Sandra Bullock wasn't one of my secret crushes. Because you see her in movies like Demolition Man, and this is where my inner Joey just sort of comes on and says, "How you doing?" Because I don't know what it is about her, but she has aged very little. Because she was, an absolute adorable woman to look at as an actress. Because I think in Demolition Man, she was kind of smitten with Sylvester Stallone's character a little bit, but then again, it has been seen throughout life and fiction. A lot of women in their 20s tend to prefer older men, which means yay for us distinguished gentlemen. Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. But we all liked her because she not only looked the part, but she could be funny, and she could also back it up in roles that required her to get physical. But yeah, her in Speed 2, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, be interesting to see what the movie does. What I think that they probably need to do is make sure the characters, should I say the legacy versions of the characters, when they come in, make sure their characters are intact the way they were before that particular continuity ended. So you need Tobey Maguire to be the quiet, awkward kid, and you need to be Andrew Garfield to be the sarcastic, quirky asshole, as said by Liz a few weeks ago. So They need to be who they are, and you need to let Willem Dafoe be Willem Dafoe. Although that sometimes in its own right can be disturbing.
But we love him for it.
That we do. That we do. And not that this will ever happen, but if they ever did a Back to the Future reboot, Hollywood, don't do it. You know what's good for you.
Yeah, please.
I could see him playing Doc Brown. And
See that?
and he would enjoy it way too much.
Mr. Defoe, you have some scenery caught in your teeth.
It's a funny thing. We said during the end of year 2015 panel, Nick Nugent and Kaiju just started like plagiarizing lines from the first spy. Goes, the heart, Marty. First we attack his heart. Plutonium. We need plutonium. Again, I could see him getting too well into that, and fans have at some stage have said we need to petition to get Willem Dafoe to play the Joker, and I'm like, no.
Do not give them ideas for the love of all that's holy.
The universe would implode.
Would.
It would. Dan says, I want to see Toby share a pizza with Andrew and Tom. I know where he's going with that.
No, I bet at the end of the movie it's like, boys, and then he pits him on the back. It's pizza time.
Yeah. And then they have a post-credit scene like at the end of Avengers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the post-credit scene at the end of the movie, it's like them just getting pizza.
Also, I want to see a quick animated cameo from someone from Into the Spider-Verse. Well, you might as well call up Nick Cage, because you know he's always needing the money. Mm-hmm. He got behind on his IRS payments. That's why. That's why he did Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance. He was one of the very few things that was the reprising element. That, and I actually liked Idris Elba's character in that. I thought he was decent. That and Anthony Stewart Head was one of the characters, and I'm like, dude, how much money did they pay you for just to do this one? Because Spirit of Vengeance was not one of their better movies.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, absolutely not.
Because Nick Cage was being a little too Nick Cage in that movie.
Yeah, that was too much Nick Cage.
He's coming at the door.
He's scraping at the door! Scraping at the door! No! Just stop!
But yeah, have the line of pizza time. And
Yes.
I wonder if, because we know Hollywood pays attention to the internet, would we possibly get a nod to Bully Maguire?
Oh! Hey, gimme!
Because it wouldn't be the first time Hollywood has taken ideas from the internet. Because remember from X-Men Last Stand with Vinnie Jones's rendition of the Juggernaut, he goes and says, quote, "Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut, bitch!"
That was so cool, but I love it.
And Avi Arad, apparently in the director's commentary, goes, "Oh, the internet joke." And I'm like, yeah, it's all very well you saying that, but aren't you the same one that keeps trying to do the romance angle in Spider-Man movies when people are kind of sick of that now?
Ooh.
Dan says, Spider-Man Noir pops out of a portal in front of Toby, Tom, and Andrew and says, "Hey there, fellas." And Dan says,
Oh, that would be awesome.
"I know this won't happen, but I want to see a dance-off, but to see Toby, Andrew, and Tom do a dance-off. No, 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 and no.
Oh!
No one needs to be traumatized. Again."
Oh.
I mean, at the very least, Andrew's version actually has a little bit of rhythm, because his version of Peter Parker is a skateboarder, so there's some potential. Tom Holland's version, no. And I appreciate it, you know, Parker was doing what he thought was cool, but the spider swagger, nobody needs to see that ever again. Because that was
How are we
bad.
gonna react to Aunt May? I mean, hot Aunt May. Oh.
I mean, and that was the thing.
Like, who's the hot older lady? It's like, that's Aunt May. Sorry, what?
That was the thing I noticed with each different generation. Aunt May got younger and more appealing to the eye, but then again, it's Marissa Tomei. You know, how you doing? I mean,
I just want Andrew and Toby to do a double take. Like, that's Aunt May.
And also with this, with this version of Spider-Man, can we at least get some idea of who Ben Parker was? Because the only thing that we've seen as a nod to Ben Parker in the MCU Spider-Man is his initials were on Peter's briefcase, and that was it. I think Ben deserves a little bit more than that. I mean, I get that Tony Stark was an inspirational father figure to Peter, but it's underselling what Ben Parker taught him. Great power comes great responsibility.
I have a theory that they might do something with Ben Parker in I'm assuming the opening credits of No Way Home, where Peter gets a flashback of talking to Uncle Ben and getting the great power comes great responsibility speech, and then he wakes up and he's either in custody or running from the police. That could work, maybe. I don't know.
One thing that I did like from Spectacular Spider-Man was whenever Peter was having flashbacks of Ben, they actually got Edward Asner from Spider-Man the Animated Series, who most of you will know better as JJ.
Wow.
But
going full circle.
And of course, speaking of JJ, J.K. Simmons is going to want in on this movie.
Of course he is.
Gimme!
But have him as the JJ from the Sam Raimi trilogy. No disrespect to JK, but JJ without the signature two-tone flat top, it don't look right.
And the cigar.
Exactly.
Oh god, if they do some kind of thing where they're in the same room and it's what's up with your hair? What's up with your hair?
It's like, my hair? What's up with your lack of hair? Now why don't you just shut up and get me pictures of Spider-Man? That's my line. That's my line too.
How dare you?
The weirdest thing, could you imagine the two of them being drinking buddies? That they're like, oh no.
Oh god, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Once again, the universe implodes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I've rambled on far too much. Steve, your thoughts on the main villain being named, whether it's Willem Dafoe or Craven the Hunter?
Either possibility seems promising. Like I said before, I'm going to wait for a trailer before I make full judgments.
Mm-hmm. All right. Lid, same question.
I'm gonna have to, again, like Steve, I'm gonna have to wait and see. There are a lot of possibilities that could happen. I'm just looking for a scene where it's the three main love interests are in the same room and it's MJ's trying to speak up. Or, I mean, Michelle's trying to speak up and then Gwen's sit your ass down.
It's what's your name? MJ, and Mary Jane pops up. No, the fuck
not.
you ain't.
As much as I don't like Kirsten Dunst, I want her to give her the look no, it's not.
Oh, dear.
It's I'm looking forward to seeing what they have. Again, like Steve, I need to see a trailer before I make an informed, full opinion.
Raiden?
Yeah, I'm with everyone. I'll wait till the trailer hit. It'll be great. But I think with this version of Goblin, they gotta go with the series. I mean, the cheese back in the day was great. That's Willem Dafoe in a nutshell. But, you know, it had to be different. Yeah, look forward to it. Just looking for a trust. Legit.
Alrighty. Emma Stone says Little Mermaid villain Ursula should get her own movie.
No.
Oh no!
After
the shit I heard about Cruella, ooh.
Yeah.
After personally bringing Cruella de Vil to life in Cruella, Emma Stone wants to see Ursula the Sea Witch get her own solo movie as well. See, this is what happens when you give the character Maleficent, you know, her own movie. You open the floodgates to everything else. Emma Stone would love to see Ursula from The Little Mermaid get her own movie. This weekend, Stone's new movie Cruella debuted in the US, and her take on the 101 Dalmatians villain has earned the actress a lot of high praise from fans online. Really, I've heard some people are saying it's so bland, it's damaging. The movie, which also...
Although it is... it's perfect meme fodder. I'm going to say that right now.
The movie, which has also drawn comparisons to Joker, has a lot of people pondering which other Disney villains should also have their own origin stories explored on the big screen. I'll say this much for Joker. Well written, well cast, and the only thing I would say is it had to shove in the Batman origin yet again at the end of the movie. It's just like, folks, we know Bat's his origin. Can you please stop ramming it down our throats? Because if we see in the opening credits to the Batman, we see a flashback to the origin, I'm going to be in that audience, be like, oh, come on! Anyway, speaking with variety on the subject, Emma Stone named Ursula the Sea Witch as the character who stands out the most. It's an obvious choice when you think about it, as the character is certainly among the most iconic villains in Disney's animated history. I will get that. What seals the deal for Stone is that Ursula is an octopus, potentially giving her a much more interesting origin story than another human character, as Stone explains. She's an octopus, and the world you would get to live in, like Ursula's parents and what happened there. You've never really seen a non-human Disney villain be explored in that way. Stowe goes on to jokingly offer one possible explanation for how Ursula came to be, suggesting the villain was traumatized at a young age by the clothing she was forced to wear. The parents keep giving her a shirt that only has 4 arms, that really messed her up from a very early age, so she's constantly trying to fit 2 arms into each hole. That would really mess you up, wouldn't it? Indeed, and Stone isn't entirely alone with her opinion. Her co-star Kirby Howell Baptiste, who plays the photojournalist Maya in Cruella, went on to add, I gotta know how Ursula came to be. Like, why she's so damn mean, but I also know that she's misunderstood. How about some characters are just evil because they're just evil, you know? Meanwhile, Howell Baptiste said Scar from The Lion King is another good option, as the murderous lion is not wrong on some things. 2 other Cruella stars offered their different opinions, with Joel Fry naming Jafar from Aladdin as his pick for a solo origin movie. What is it with villains having origin movies now?
Because Disney wants to rake in that Joker cash.
Got to have the money.
Meanwhile, Paul Walter Hauser said he wanted to see Darren Aronofsky give his take on Lilo and Stitch. That I would like.
Wait, what?
I want to see a live action Lilo and Stitch because, come on, that'd be good to see.
I mean, why Darren Aronofsky though? Why?
We'll get to see a new take on Ursula soon enough, though it won't be as an origin story for the villain. She'll be played by Melissa McCarthy in seriously, that's just too obvious casting.
No.
I mean,
no.
If they went for let's see, somebody that just sort of screams that sort of demeanor, like Glenn Close, who originally played Cruella de Vil in the 101 Dalmatians movie, and the lady who was the main antagonist in The Devil Wears Prada. That would have made more sense. By the way, she is every bit as mean as you think she is in that movie. A live-action remake of The Little Mermaid, which also stars Halle Bailey as Ariel. If the movie turns out to be a success, it's always possible Ursula could get her own spin-off movie or even a Disney Plus series, as is the case for the upcoming Beauty and the Beast prequel series starring Gaston and LeFou. Why?
Because fuck us, that's why.
Pretty much. Directed by Greg Gillespie, Cruella is written by Dana Fox and Tony McNamara. Alain Brosh McKenna, Kelly Marcel, and Steve Zissou conceived the story. There's your problem. Too many writers. 2 is ample. 3, just to throw in maybe a couple of extra ideas, but when there's like 4 or 5, that's like, stop. Stop. The movie serves as a prequel to 101 Dalmatians by specifically delving into the origins of the fur-wearing villain Cruella de Vil. The movie is now playing in the US theaters and is now playing via Disney Plus with premiere access. This news comes to us from Deadline.
Yeah.
Okay, now to get down to the brass tacks of this. Emma Stone is an amazing actress, and I'm glad that she's actually exploring what range she can have by playing different characters and what have you, but we don't need an Ursula origin story. I mean, this whole thing where, we need to, give our villains sympathy and make us root for them. It's like, they're villains. You don't root for them. You jeer them. It's like when you had Rock and Triple H at Backlash 2000. You don't cheer for Triple H because he's a misunderstood heel. It's like, no, he married the boss's daughter so he could work his way up the ladder and spat on the fans whilst doing it, and you cheer The Rock because, well, he's The Rock, he's the people's champion, he fights for the people. Then have Stone Cold Steve Austin coming out, steel chairs people, goes out to the back, drags in a DX Express, has a couple of brewskis with The Rock, toast a WWE title, boom, end. And that was perfect. You don't want to make Ursula a sympathetic villain because we're sick of that. With Loki, it worked. I'll grant.
You have the charm.
Yeah. Tom Hiddleston made it work. It doesn't mean that it's going to work for every single solo, antagonist movie. Joker, that one worked. Because you had the right script, the right director, the right actor, and the right look. All the stars aligning properly. And like I say, you don't need to see an origin movie for that character. I mean, what's next? We're going to see an origin story of Baloo the bear, then Bagheera the panther, Shere Khan the tiger. Oh, we must have sympathy for Shere Khan. He's a freaking predator that goes out and eats other animals to sustain him.
He's a
fucking animal. What are you doing?
I mean,
voiced brilliantly by Idris Elba.
I will give you that. He was very good.
I mean, I wouldn't mind.
Just gets ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing, a very short feature of how Mufasa and Scar were as cubs growing up into adolescent lions, and then Sarabi and Simba being brought into the fray, but you'd only need an episode, maybe 40 minutes long. Because that's
like
more than
something that the
ample
Lion
enough.
Guard would have done.
Yeah. You know, you don't want to overdo it. You just want it at a level whereby you have some semblance of context. You don't need to make a whole 2-hour movie of that. It's not necessary.
It doesn't need to be dragged out.
No. That'd be like... Let me think of something here. That'd be like giving the character of Cordelia her own prequel spin-off series before she made it to Sunnydale. I mean, do you really need that?
No.
I mean, and it's the same thing with Angel and Spike. You don't need spin-off prequel series to establish their characters because it was all done with flashbacks within both Buffy and Angel. Wait, that came out wrong with the first one. That I really should rethink that. Within the Buffy the Vampire Slayer series and then in the Angel series. Yeah, that sounds a lot better. And there's Lids on the other end just grinning. He's like, I know what you did. And there's Ray just like, oh no, carry on. I'm okay with that. Long-winded. Get to the point. You don't need to do, you don't need to do an origin story for every single Disney antagonist. It's just not necessary. I mean, this is why fan fiction exists, because you can just read it. Although some fan fiction, guys, you go into way too much detail. Just saying.
And some of the things that you do, they make our brains hurt.
Yeah, so, like, with the example of Ursula, tentacles, yeah, I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going. Backing out right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember if this was random or someone else. He showed me something with regards to a Pokemon fanfic involving some of the girl characters and a Pokemon tentacle, and I'm like, yeah, I don't need to read this any further. I already know where this is going.
No.
And I'm not going to say the character's name because it would be very inappropriate.
Yeah.
We're going to leave it at that. Steve, thoughts before I go off onto another tangent that's just going to drag this out?
Okay. Disney, why have you suddenly got the whole villain arc? Every villain needs a story arc going on in your practices. I know, I think there's a YouTuber called What's Her Videos. They kind of explained that in later versions of, I think, the Little Maid musical, they go into a little bit of detail which says that Triton and Ursula were both siblings. And eventually Ursula was banned from the Kingdom of Atlantica. And it was short and it was simple. Done. You don't need to drag it out for an entire movie.
Nope.
And the whole ridiculousness of every villain needs a story. I think it all started with Maleficent. They wanted to try and paint the villains in a more lighter note, like there's all shades of black and white kind of thing going on. But I miss the days when we could just have villains who were villains for the sake of being villains.
Exactly.
They don't need. Not all villains need a complex scenario. Some are just evil, and that's it. I could make parallels to some real life villains, but I'd rather not go into that kind of subject.
No, you're better off not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just getting tired of all these. I'm just getting tired of Disney at this point because there's no originality anymore. Can't you put your mind into focusing on new ideas, new concepts?
You already know the answer to that.
Mm-hmm.
I've just grown sick and tired of the same trash that's just been put out in the theaters. That's why I rarely watch any new Disney films anymore, because it just feels more of the same.
Other than the Marvel stuff, I think the last newest Disney movie I saw at the theater was Wreck-It Ralph 2, and there are parts of that movie I like, but I don't know. It felt like a little bit all over the place sort of movie.
And apparently the explanation of why Cruella hates Dalmatians, that was briefly
God.
Steve, don't bring this up, please. God, don't bring.
You're
this
not
up.
gonna end well.
I'm not gonna say it out on here, but
Good.
that is the most stupidest explanation I've ever heard in my entire
I know.
life.
For Disney's sake, like, yo, what are you doing?
And they're trying to defend it. I'm like, no, this is dumb.
So to the whole Cruella film, I just say, fuck this shit, I'm out.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Nope.
And as for the proposal for the Ursula movie, I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. If I give a shit, I might just give a fuck. But I don't give a shit, so I don't give a fuck.
He said.
Lids.
I'm sorry, but was everybody incredibly stoned when they filmed these interviews where it's like, oh, Ursula's an octopus? I'm like, first of all, honey, she's a sea witch. Second of all, she's technically a mer-person by all intents and purposes. So no, she is not a fucking octopus, and she was not born with 4 arms. Freaking octopus tentacles were part of her tail. Just, it doesn't make any sense why you would act like that. Okay, but give me 1 second. Hold on, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. And as I said before, if anyone's interested, I think his name is Isaac something or other, but he used to go by the name of What's So Videos. He did a good in-depth look on Ursula as a character.
Okay.
And including the retcon that they did in the musical version. Stage musical, I mean.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
sorry about that, I was interrupted.
But
But yeah, what I was saying is that, like, doesn't make sense that they want to give all these villains origin stories. Not all of them need origin stories. Just, it's called your imagination. You can think that this is what happened. There's fan theories where you can think this is what happened. You don't need an origin story to tell you why this person is evil. You can figure it out for yourself. Or hell, just have the mystery of that. The mystique of freaking having a backstory that you don't know about yet, and you don't need to. The person's just bad. I don't understand why it's like, oh, we need to feel sorry for them. No. Not every person deserves a redemption arc. Not every person deserves to, oh, we feel so sorry for you, all the pain you have. No. Don't do that. You do not do that. Because, first of all, there are other villains that are just completely nasty and horrible people. It doesn't matter. Like, again, there's the whole nature versus nurture thing. Some people are just born bad. Just don't understand why we need to have all these origin stories, aside from the fact that they want to make money off it. Back to the drawing board, because you need to stop ruining other people's things, because you're already ruining shit with the live action ones. We don't need any freaking live action origin stories of the other ones. I'm sorry, no. Take it for the fact that some people don't need to know this. They're just, this person's bad, deal with it. It's really stupid.
The best villains, in my opinion, are those who are mysterious.
Exactly.
Because you don't know their intentions. That's what makes them great villains.
Mm-hmm. That's why the Joker's been so prevalent all these years. We don't know what his backstory is, and he's always said, I like to make my story multiple choice. I'm like, that's how you do it. You don't need an origin story necessarily. Just pick and choose. Use your imagination. Figure it out. You don't need to tell somebody that. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Nope. Raiden?
Hell no. Now. Listen. God damn. I mean, Steve said it. Like, what? I don't know why you gotta give villains that. Villains are villains at the end of the day. Yeah, you feel bad for them for their early background. You can't feel bad for them anymore when they do something that made them. No, it's not right. I could care less about this new thing. It's gonna watch something else. Simple as that.
Yeah. It's when I find, them where Disney are doing things like this, I tend to watch stuff that they did back in the day where they just wanted to tell a story. I mean, Jungle Book, Lion King, the original Little Mermaid, Aladdin, A Bug's Life, Cars. They just wanted to tell a story, Just a bit of simple, reasonably good family fun. Not having to make you feel sympathy for characters that are just plain bad. I mean, it's like I say, you don't go feeling bad for Shere Khan because he's the villain. He goes around and kills other animals for food and sometimes for sport. Depends on how he was feeling that particular day. But in the real world, that's just how big cats are. They have to, hunt other animals for food because, well, they're carnivores. That's how they sustain themselves. I mean, if you like trying to give Judge Frollo a sympathetic backstory, that never happened. I mean, I saw The Hunchback of Notre Dame for the first time because I got it from my brother as a Christmas gift the other year. That movie's messed up.
It is.
Not to mention Tony J's performance
Oh,
as Frollo.
yes.
Oh god, that's bone chilling.
But he was one of the best for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I was really surprised that Demi Moore was actually the one voicing Esmeralda. I'm like, oh, okay. Wasn't her singing, but I don't think singing's one of Demi's personal talents, but has to be said, vocally, just as a voice actress on her own, her voice can captivate you. She's got that very husky sort of sounding voice, similar way that when Holly Hunter was voicing Elastigirl, when I heard her voicing it first time, I'm like, okay, I'm mesmerized for a minute because there's something about that sort of voice. And I'm probably saying more information than I need to, but hey, I like what I like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they actually did a sequel to Hunchback, but I don't know if that was as well received as the first
it
one.
was
a direct-to-video movie.
During the age where they were doing a lot of those.
Ah.
I think one of the very few direct-to-video and DVDs I liked was Lion King 2 Simba's Pride, because that was actually
Yeah, that
reasonably
was
well
actually
done.
good. I like that one.
Mhm. And they had a lot of the cast from the first movie back.
That they did.
Yeah.
I mean, say what we will about some of the movie role choices that Matthew Broderick has made over the years. As Simba, they couldn't have picked anyone better. I like who they got as Simba for the live action remake. My only problem was it's like the director Jon Favreau said, now sound like Broderick. And I'm like, why can't I just sound like Donald Glover? You know? And let's not even get into the subject of Beyonce as Nala.
No.
As I recall Raiden saying years ago when they announced the cast list for Lion King, he goes, Beyonce? Really?
Yeah.
Great singer. I mean, I have my own issues with some of the songs Beyonce's come out with and some of the things that she'll say personally. But singing, she's good. Voice actress, not so much. And you'd think the two would go hand in hand because obviously you have to, utilize your voice in a certain way, but no. And we're all still trying to forget Goldmember. Mike Myers, I love you, but you could have chosen somebody else to play Foxy Cleopatra. Heck, Angela Bassett would have been a better pick. But I don't know. Right. Yeah. Did anyone get their say on the Ursula topic?
I think we've all taken a piece out of that pie.
Yeah, and then we want to put it back.
Yeah.
Well, especially if it's the pie that Jim from American Pie had.
Yuck.
God.
Yeah.
That's just nasty. I always feel like what was going through Jim's dad's mind when he saw that. It's just like, oh, I was going to eat that. That movie wouldn't happen today.
Nope.
But then again, we've seen some movies get away with almost as much, if not worse, but hey, it was a product of the late 90s, and if people of today saw the sort of things that Stifler got up to in those movies,
yeah,
they'd have a field day with him today.
Yeah. Plus, and not just that kind of thing, that kind of stuff. There's been stuff way, way back, even stuff in Disney movies that would not be well received nowadays.
No, especially.
I won't say what because we've already covered that before once.
Yeah, especially. I think what was it? We're watching through a Watch Mojo video of some of the most inappropriate Disney moments in Disney movies, and one of them was the stories of the Great South, and we're like, oh dear. Yeah, that wouldn't happen today. No, sir.
Zippity day.
Yeah.
And I was saying to somebody at work today, oh, you think you've seen it bad with some comedy stuff? Look up Al Bundy's Greatest Insults. Have fun.
Oh, dear.
Oh, God, yes.
That might get like reruns on TV, but like in like late hour shots, but it wouldn't get made today the way it was shot from 86 to 96 because times have changed. And for, a UK equivalency, Steve knows where I'm going this. You wouldn't see the show Love Thy Neighbor made today.
Oh no.
No, especially where racial slurs were said quite openly on that show. I'm like, yeah, that wouldn't happen today. I think probably about 3/4 of the dialogue would probably have to be rewritten. I mean, especially some of the stuff that, on a different note, on Fools and Horses, there's a lot of stuff that Del Boy would say that wouldn't happen today. Especially how Del Boy would regard the French. Because he would often use this word.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you can't say that today.
Oh, Jesus!
No.
It was the 80s. I'm not saying that makes it right, but it was a little bit of a simpler time where not everybody was offended.
And now in modern times, everybody's offended.
You think that's bad? Just look at The Rock's promo from late 2003, where he interrupts a segment between then co-GM Mick Foley and La Resistance. Because I look back at that promo, it's like, yeah, that would not happen today. No. It's a very different timing. Some things have changed for the better. I will grant some of that, but where some things are taken out that are not even remotely offensive, that's when you have to put on the brakes and say, come on, let's behave here a little bit. I don't know. Unless somebody's got something to add, I think we'll call it time here.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Well,
I was going to suggest the death of the original Spider-Man voice actor.
Oh yeah, R.I.P.
you can cover that one
Next week.
No, you want to take this one? You can.
I'm just seeing if I can try to find the article.
Let's see. Should be. Oh, if I recall, it's probably in the. Yeah, it's probably in the main server. Let's go up here a minute.
I don't think so.
Hang on.
I know you did post it in one of them. Oh yeah, there's also another one that they're redoing the Powerpuff Girls pilot, but we're not going to waste our time with that.
Oh no!
No.
I think-
I watched the video on what they were talking about, and it's like someone actually read through and technically reenacted the script of that pilot, and I'm like, oh my god, no, we are not doing this. We are not doing this to the Powerpuff Girls, no.
I think I can sum everyone's thoughts when I say Mulligan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I found the article. In fact, it was you actually posted it. You posted it on May 29, so it's just a day old.
Ah.
Let's see. If I repost it, like I say, if you want to take this one, dude, you can.
I'm not very good when it comes to reading articles on live stream.
All right. Spider-Man original voice actor Paul Solz dies at 90. Paul Solz, the voice behind Spider-Man back in the 60s, has died at the age of 90. His manager, Angela Wright, confirmed the news on Facebook. Tributes to the film TV star are already pouring in from all corners. When he wasn't playing the wall crawler, Solz also played a huge role in holiday classic Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. In 1964, Special sees him voicing Hermie in the stop-motion family film. Up in Canada, the actor would host a late-night talk show in the late 70s called Canada After Dark. Later in his career, Solz would be a mainstay on Take 30 on CBC as a presenter. Wright wrote on social media, Paul Solz was truly a Canadian treasure. He lived a long life with so many adventures along the way. R.I.P. All the Action Figure Expo in Ontario last year, Evantainment talked to the longtime radio voice about his journey throughout the entertainment business. Sol thinks that his start was a result of numerous opportunities and he was just thankful to get the chances that he did. All those avenues are harder to access and Solz was very aware of that. No, it really started in radio. My summer jobs at university were almost always on radio stations. At the lowest level, you sign in on the mornings and close the station at night, but you get to do everything and learn the business, so it's like getting paid to go to college or to trade school. As the years have gone on, there were many dry years where I looked at my resume and said, is this as big as it's ever going to be? Now I wonder, that's amazing. I got to do so many nice things, but that was really more good luck than good management, I have to say. Others gave me the chance that I wish I had anything to do with. That gift made it possible. I'm very grateful. I have to apologize. Solz is survived by his sister Ruth Ellen, his wife Jean, his son Jonathan, and their family. Did you enjoy his Spider-Man? Let us know in the comments. From what little I did hear of his Spider-Man, it was a very dry-witted version. It's like a very toned-down mirror version of Christopher Daniel Barnes' take on the character in the 90s animated series, but it was the 60s. It was what was good for at the time when voice acting wasn't taken anywhere near as seriously as it has done in the last 30 to 40 years, where you look at anything from the way William Daniels has voiced Kit throughout Knight Rider, the way Jaleel White has voiced all three incarnations of Sonic the Hedgehog, Kevin Conroy voicing Batman when he gave a damn, to Tim Daly voicing Superman in the animated series, and then to, people like Tara Strong voicing Ben 10 in the original animated series. Voice acting is taken almost as seriously as a big live action movie production. To make the comparison that Christopher Daniel Barnes is on the same level as that of, say, Michael J. Fox from Back to the Future or Sam Neill from Jurassic Park, subjectively I would say no, but it depends on what your mileage is. And never really followed much of Solz' career other than what I did see with the 60s Spider-Man series, but he gave what was necessary for the role at the time, and many fans to this day are still grateful for his contributions, in the same vein that those that grew up in the 90s are grateful to Christopher Daniel Barnes. People in the late 2000s are grateful for Josh Keaton. And to even when Neil Patrick Harris did his take on Spidey in the early to mid 2000s series, which the animation company that did that series is the same company that did Beast Wars, Mainframe.
Yep.
So all I can end with for Mr. Solz is rest in peace. Thank you for what you gave to the character of Spider-Man and what you've done for your, throughout your career. You'll be missed. I can't really give anything more because, like I said, I didn't really follow his career too closely. Anyone want to add anything?
Not really. It's sad to see someone go, but again, he lived a long life, so
yeah,
you gotta give that at least.
All right. If no one has anything further to add, this is where we'll close it out for the night, because we've gone on quite a few tangents this evening, and there were a few other articles, but they would have been long drawn out, and considering my track record for not really being able to know when to shut up and, you know, move on, now's as good a time as any to close out. So thank you to those that have tuned in for this evening. We hope we have entertained, delighted, and maybe uplifted you. You never know what impact you have on other people. I like to think of what I do as I'm just here just to hopefully entertain and get you to take your mind off current events just for a few hours. If I've inspired you and uplifted you, awesome. If I've annoyed you, well, that could be fun as well, depending on who it is. But no, seriously. If there's somebody out there that's inspired by what we do, then great. Because then it just means that, you plant an idea into someone's head to think, I want to do what they're doing. There might be someone out there that is the next Cyber-Raiden that will slander further into the 21st century, or someone that wants to be just as awesome as Lydia, someone that wants to be as snarky and adorable as Win, or somebody who wants to be the next Kaiju Noir. You never know. They could be out there. They just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
And on that note, good night from the night.
Take care, everyone.
Night, everybody.
And don't forget to check out MJ Knight's Teespring page for many, many, many great products. And don't forget to...
Also, it's Oni Rakaku's birthday. Wish him a happy birthday, because he's going to be live streaming tonight.
Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Give me lots of cake and creamy snacks. I'll be drinking Kool-Aid. He's gonna listen. It's like, I am going to kill you, dude.
Oh, right now he's a teensy bit tipsy right now, so...
Oh, in which case I need to be more accurate. In which case I need to be more... Happy birthday to me.
Oh, he's going to be watching. He's like, fuck you, dude.
I'll be purchasing Cena stuff.
He's not that drunk.
Well,
also,
Go on.
Speaking of purchases, don't forget to check out Kaiju Noir's comic book, Primal Warrior Draco Azul. Available on Amazon, Kindle, and Comixology for your reading pleasure.
Ooh, people get pleasure from my reading. Oh, wait. I shouldn't really be going into that. I'll be turning into Kaiju L-Man. Wait. Oh, good lord, Kaiju and L-Man doing the fusion tats. Oh,
No! Do not give him that kind of power.
And there's Raiden sat there going, why do I secretly want this? Serious though, Oni, happy birthday. Don't go mad. Birthday. And Alka-Seltzer, that's your friend in the morning. See you next week, folks.
Bye.
Alright, we're off air.